We are absolutely live. It's 5 p.m., 5 o'clock on the west coast of the United States. Welcome to the west coast. If you're on the east coast of Canada, welcome. If you're on the west coast of the United States, welcome. Maybe you're on the west coast of Australia, welcome. Maybe it's morning time where you are, maybe. Now I can see. Hey, there's Fred. What's up, buddy? Good old Fred wanted to come say hi. Hope everybody's having a really great Wednesday. This is Wednesday. Wait, is it Thursday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wow, I had a great day at work today. Got two guitars sent home. It was really fun. Had some great interactions with some really cool people. Let's see. I'm gonna flip that. We'll get rid of that. Had no real intended purpose on this stream today. It's kind of unannounced, I guess. Just having some fun. Willing to discuss anything anyone might want to discuss today. It's just fine. I want to make an adjustment to my microphone while I'm at it. Let's just bring this up a little bit. Yeah, that ought to be a little bit better. And let's see what this is doing. It's not doing a darn thing. I could probably bring that up a little bit. Yeah, that works. That works pretty good. Huh. Nice. It seems to be compressing nicely. Hey. Found a couple of new backing tracks that sounded pretty nice. So I played along with those today. Might do a little bit of that while I'm at it. Yeah. And the traffic is just continuously flowing. It's amazing how much traffic is in a small town like this. Remarkable. Let's say it's a small town. It's not really that small. Actually, it is that small. Hey, Preston, what's happening? Great to see you too. Looking forward to hopefully catching some of your show tonight. I'm making my final preparations for being gone for a little bit. Wonderful, have a wonderful house sitter that's going to come take care of stuff for me. So not too worried about leaving home. You know what I just realized is that something that I do every single day is when I get up, I make my bed. And I realized that with all of my plans going on right now, that I forgot to make my bed today. So maybe I should do that right now just to save myself the agony of having to look at this any further. I wore a flannel shirt to work today because it was a little bit cool out this morning. Went to the pharmacy and got all my prescriptions all dialed in. What are you doing? So I'm all set and ready. There we go. When I get into a one-bedroom apartment, I will have an actual bed that I make, and but right now I'm currently staying within my means, just to make sure I don't have too many expenses. I don't want to overextend myself. Yeah. Nothing planned tonight. Cool. Maiden, they're a great band. Hey, Lord Spike. Yeah, sorry guys, my place is a little bit of a mess. It usually looks like this when I get home, but it was a bit of a mess today. Oh yeah, that's his usual position when I come home from work. He rolls over on his belly and lets me pet his belly. Probably won't do it right. Yeah, he'll do it. There he goes. I think he trusts me a little bit. Yeah. Oh, he's such a good friend to have. I'm very lucky to have a cat as I don't know, how do I say this? Just he's such a cool dude. Very mellow. Hi, Charlie. Welcome, brother. Let's see. Been hot. Yeah, it hasn't been like super. We haven't had a super hot summer like a lot of the rest of the country has. We've been sitting here in this really nice little pocket. We've definitely had a couple 100-degree days, but nothing like what we've witnessed the rest of the world pretty much this summer. It's been pretty brutal. But the best part of summer has been for me to have video chats with people on the opposite side of the world, and they're the poor fuckers wearing coats right now. Oh, I said the F word. They're the poor guys wearing coats right now, so I never miss an opportunity to flip them a little bit of a little Shiite because they it's 6 degrees outside here, and they're sitting in shorts and a tank top, so I get to rub it in their face a little bit. It's kind of fun. It's some good banter back and forth. Yeah, I didn't really have anything planned. I usually don't, unless a specific subject has come up that someone has asked me about. Oh, you got cables you want to mess with, don't you? You gonna do that? Okay. There you go. Hey, Brad, Zach, what's up? Hi, Brad. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I think, didn't you just have please forgive me. I think you just had a birthday. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I can't follow everything. There's so many people I know, but welcome, man. It's a long time no see. I haven't heard you play for a while. I haven't been on any live streams where you've been playing. So and forgive me for not seeing everything. Yeah, my guitar works. It's working. This might be the last time I get to play it for a week. Although, I gotta be honest, where I'm headed, there's lots of guitars. So I will be in guitar player heaven, I think. Got asked also to learn a couple of songs that I'm gonna be expected to be able to play while I am where I am. I'm not gonna divulge that information right now, but so I don't know what kind of guitar rig I'm going to get to play through, but I am going to get to perform a little bit live, so I'm really looking forward to that. And if you aren't aware, and Charlie, you've been very persistent in asking me how my hand's doing, and it's still not 100%. I damaged my ring finger on my left hand. Rush's B-Day. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there. Yeah, I saw Jade got. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, that's cool. God, I haven't seen Ivan for a long time. The German butcher, is that right? Yeah, a lot of September birthdays in the communities that you hang in. That's cool. Uh, there's a lot of birthdays in October though too. I don't know what month has the most babies born. I'm guessing it's sometime 9 months after summer in the United States. That's when all the dudes get laid, get people pregnant. Yeah, so my hand's still absolutely not 100%. I've been playing it really cool. And if you do play guitar, which most of you in here do, yours is on the 16th. Okay. Good grief. Okay, so there a whole bunch of people in the communities are born in the same month. I hyperextended my ring finger. I was picking up a speaker out of a box, and not a terribly heavy speaker, but it was a powered single 15 with a horn. And the thing shifted on me when I was pulling it up out of the box, and nobody offered to help. I was working with like 8 or 9 people, and nobody offered to help, which was I was a little disappointed about that. But anyhow, the box shifted and it bent my finger backwards. And that finger already has like some ligament damage. I've got a little issue with it where it's kind of bent, like permanently. And I've been doing my best to stay on focus, straightening it out. And you can heal it by that. But anyhow, it's still just very, very tender and sore, and if I try and grip something real hard, I can feel it. It's not like super painful or anything. I mean, obviously I can move my hand, but and Charlie, I really appreciate you writing me a note here and there and checking on me. That really helps a lot. So I appreciate that. Yeah, it's and Brad, I will, there's a lot of people here that will voice their opinions on what you might be experiencing. Yeah, and what you just said in that message is exactly what I would recommend be done. They have single coil pickups, and the single coil pickups will notoriously have buzz in them. Oftentimes it's not the actual grounding in the guitar. That's all done just fine, especially on Fenders. They do a pretty good job of using lock washers so that, it's a J bass. So I'm trying to think. I don't remember. J basses and P basses are so similar. But yeah, they have those single coil pickups and they will make noise. And so what you definitely can do is install some copper tape, obviously, to the body cavity, ferrite blocks, 60 cycle, yeah. Oh, it just started. Yeah, I don't make a call on that unless I have it and can check the ground. To say that it's definitely grounding, be careful, Preston, because that is not always it. You could have damage to pickup that's causing that. One of the windings got snapped off in there. I mean, there's so many things. Other things that can happen is if you have a new electrical fixture or a heater or something like that you've plugged in your home, a television set, a camera, a lamp, you can check those things by just simply turning them off and seeing if the buzz goes away. Another thing is definitely check the wall outlet and make sure it's grounded properly. Yeah, but yeah, it may not be the bass at all, Brad. There's so many things that can cause that. I mean, even a problem with your audio interface might only show up when you have your bass plugged in. As much as I know I've just thrown a whole bunch of shit at you, but it's really difficult to say what it is without. Your cousin has a Sigma. Cool. We'll touch on that subject here in just a moment because I worked on a really, really fantastic acoustic guitar today. Yeah, it's always definitely a good idea if something shows up like that and you're not sure what it is to take it to a shop and they can check the ground without having to take anything apart. Like that's a pretty simple test. If you have a voltmeter, you can do it yourself just by holding one of the pins on the bridge and maybe holding the other one to the output jack. It's an output jack. It's not an input jack, right? And you could make sure that stuff's grounded. Hold it on the bridge, and then you can oftentimes even hit the that doesn't have a pickup selector switch on it, so you may have to open it up to get in there to check that ground. But definitely with a voltmeter, you can do a lot on your own to remove pieces of the equation or troubled spots or potential trouble spots. So there's a lot you could do by yourself, Brad. If you've got a voltmeter, just turn it on to the check for sound if you got contact and see if you got good ground. But usually that's not the issue. But it's amazing how many times a ground hum is diagnosed as a hum in a guitar is diagnosed as a ground problem, and it's not. It's actually one of the pots, making some noise. So hello, Axiom. So yeah, maybe have him check it out, see if something got broke or a ground got loose. Well, Brad, you're still going to be way too far away from me to stop by and take a look. Yeah, dude, I would love it. It would be great to give you a big old hug. You've put out so many great songs. I'm grateful to have been able to hear your music and still get to. So keep it coming. It's cool what you and Russ and those guys have going on. So Zach had mentioned that he's got a buddy with a what type? Forgive me. The type of guitar it was a Sigma acoustic, probably made by what's that? The world's biggest guitar manufacturer. I cannot believe my brain just went flat. The world's biggest guitar manufacturer, or at least they were in the 80s. Made all the Kramer guitars and all the, foreign-made Jacksons. Anyhow, I had an Aria in my shop today. He dropped it off on, when was it? On Sunday this week. Well, thank you. No, not Martin. Sigma is by Martin. That's right. That's like their foreign-made name, I think. And those are fantastic. But that Aria acoustic guitar was just absolutely fantastic. I was able to set that thing up, and the neck angle was just perfect. And I got the really low string action, and the guy's now just learning to play. He won it at a guitar shop right here in La Grande in 1975. And
he never really took the time to learn to play. And now he's retired. He was give you a little information about him. He was a paramedic. So years and years of riding around in ambulances, saving people's lives. And he's a very, very cool dude. I'm glad to know him. And I do have his phone number. So if I need help, I can call him, which is really cool because the clients that I have and run into and the people I interact with in my community range from all fields of work. You can only imagine. I'll bet every one of you in this chat who happens to play guitar or likes guitar does something completely different than anybody else. But anyhow, that Aria was a really, really sweet guitar. It just sounded fantastic. And man, I can just rip on that thing. And, you know, acoustic guitars, I don't play a lot of acoustic guitar. I do, that's kind of a foolish thing to say. A high E string. So anyhow, just know that if you didn't pay a lot for an acoustic guitar, it does not matter. Some of them are just absolutely fantastic instruments. You do not have to have a super expensive one to have a good sounding guitar. Like you say, high E string sounds dead or flat when it's plugged in, but sounds fine unplugged. What's the deal? Yeah, I would. My first question is: is the pickup laying under the saddle? Is it? Let me turn my volume down. Is the pickup laying under the saddle on that instrument? Is it a little? What do you call that? It's not a piezo pickup ultimately. Yeah. Preston's kind of hitting on the same thing, but sometimes, and I just experienced this literally just the other day. A lady brought her guitar in, took it to the other guitar shop, mind you. There is another guitar shop in our town. I don't even know why they're in business, but nonetheless, she brought it in, took it down there. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. She brought it to me, and I looked inside the guitar, and I could see the pickup had pulled out of the hole, and it was a Martin acoustic guitar with a pickup system in it. So the wire goes into the saddle. What brand of guitar are we talking about, Axiom? Is that a Taylor? And sometimes what'll happen is that wire, it goes up and then so it's going through the top of the body, and then it's bent over like that in the slot in the saddle, right? So you've got this piece of wire mesh that goes in the slot. So the wire mesh sits in that slot like that. Well, if your treble E string is here, let's just say, right? And that thing has slid over a little bit, and it's not catching that whole string, it can make that string sound quiet or dead. And it's a Gibson. Okay. So what you can do you don't have to change strings. You don't even have to take the strings out of the pegs on the end of the guitar. Just take a string winder if you've got one, or just loosen the strings up immensely. And be very careful in doing this, but take a pair of pliers and pull that saddle up out of it. This is how I learned how to work on guitars myself. I knew enough to be dangerous, and I did this stuff and discovered things like what I'm telling you right now. But if you pull that, you can get the strings loose enough that you can pull the saddle up out of the slot and get it out of the way, and you can look in there and make sure that that thing is fully seated over so that it does rest under the treble E string. Because normally on most acoustic guitars, it penetrates the bridge under the low E string. It usually doesn't go the opposite direction. It usually penetrates off to the side of the low E string in the saddle slot, and then it's bent over. And if that thing, let's just say you were changing strings once and that thing relaxed a little bit and it pulled away from that end. Let's see, how can I do this? Yeah, if it pulled away from that end a little bit, you could have a dead spot. Hopefully that makes sense. I think you know what I'm talking about. But you can do it without even changing strings. What I do recommend that you do, if you do loosen the strings up like that, put a capo at the first fret just to hold the strings in place. And then that way they aren't going to fall off the machine heads and all that. It'll save you a lot of work. Ask me how I know. I hope that helps. And if you could do that right now and let me know, I'll be on for a little bit. You know, if you have time to do that, just try it real quick. You could probably do that in less than 5 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes. But if you do see, now here's the thing: if you do find that is not sitting flush on the one end of the saddle like it's supposed, if it's pulled away a little bit, and we're talking a very small amount is all it takes. What you need to do is reach inside the guitar. Do not grab that stranded piece of wire or poke it with anything sharp or anything. If you cut one of those wires, you could completely ruin your pickup. But push it up from the inside. Reach inside the guitar and push it up a little bit, and just kind of be very gentle about getting it to fill that entire slot. If you don't find that that's the problem, there could be a problem with the pickup where one of the strands got broken. I'm thinking worst case scenario in this case. But usually that's the ultimate problem. Cool. Let me know. Let me know what you find. Hello, Mike. Oh, happy birthday. I believe we got a birthday boy in the chat today. My goodness. And we got like several other. Brad forgot to mention that it's Mike's birthday today, too. There's a lot of birthdays in September. You got your cat jumping from the basketball. Everybody say happy birthday to Rhodey. The groove in the saddle is real low. Looks like it had some. Oh, well, you're very welcome, Mike. Yeah. Saddles will definitely wear out, and I'll tell you that over time they definitely get grooves notched into them from having strings run over them, and you're tightening and loosening them all the time and tuning them and all that stuff. But how do I say this safely? Technically, there isn't supposed to be a slot in that saddle on an acoustic guitar. It should be just smooth as glass, and the strings right over it where they should, and the string tension holds it in place. Thus is why they make them out of bone, because it's not easily notched. It's very hard material. That's why yeah, Brad, welcome, man. That's why bone and even graphite and the best stuff in the world, deer antler, is used for saddles, because you typically on a guitar you don't typically slot them at all. And they do get, believe me, Axiom, I know that they get, I'll probably, if I could pull the one out of my Taylor, it would definitely have slots in it. That's the original saddle that came in that guitar. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just take on a backing track real quick. If you guys don't mind listening to me wind on a backing track for a moment. I hope I don't bother you with this. Let's just see what we can do here. I'll go with the Strati. I felt some Eagles, whoever that guy was, Don Henley, somebody. Oh boy, we got some funky old blues going on. All right, we'll get this. Some old blues. I don't play a lot of that kind of blues music. Holy smokes. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, Brody had his very another very successful trip around the sun. I love seeing that. One of my favorite all-time birthday wishes. Congratulations on another safe trip around the sun. That was fun to kind of do a lot of up picking on that one. That was interesting. Very interesting. That's a good way to practice some picks. Yeah, right? A good way to practice some pick technique, because it really, that upstroke, man, it really can give you a trippy attack on the notes. It's something that I think I don't know, but I think a lot of guys might forget about because everybody goes to downstrokes almost immediately, and they forget about those the upstrokes, and it can really give your solo a different kind of attitude. The way you're picking those notes, kind of a fun. You know, it's like the old. That old Stevie Ray Vaughan, it was all done with upstrokes when you watch him play it. So it's kind of a cool thing. Cool, Preston. A lot of upstroke practice. You switch hands and pick up a stroke, right? I'm hoping that my buddy Smiling Bill might have shown up. Trimmer, hello, man. I forgot I did not say hello to you. And hello, Falcro. He dropped in here a bit ago. He's going to be on YouTube all night tonight, so he's probably taking a little break. Yeah, that's great that you were able to sit down and play bass. And, you know, a lot of this stuff that I do on here is, and in fact, I myself, when I'm listening to folks play, other guys playing solos over backing tracks and things like that, I will usually pick up my guitar and play the rhythm parts to try and calm, because it's just as important to play good solid rhythm as it is to play good solid lead. So it's great practice for that sort of stuff, to try and add a layer to an already produced backing track by using chord inversions and different picking techniques, like doing the whole rhythm part. We using upstrokes. So I'm offering a lot of really good guitar players some really invaluable guitar advice. Biggest influence, guitar, my Uncle Tony and Cousin David. Well, I want to say thanks to them for inspiring you and influencing you. I could say the same thing. My Uncle Steve is the reason that I play guitar today. My dad showed me the first chord, but getting to see him play as a young kid is the reason that I fell in love with this thing and still do it. Done it my whole life. So keep playing that thing, man. It's great that you're such an enthusiast and you're listening to a lot of really great music. Some of the stuff that you've suggested on other people's channels has been really cool. Music and very unique. A lot of acoustic stuff, so I appreciate all of that. Lord Spike, what have you been up to, man? If you're still here, you doing anything exciting? Recorded any new tunes? And I haven't been out and about visiting too many YouTube channels. I usually try and watch live streams when they go live, but you're funny, Hugh. I'm getting a little clicking sound in my headphones. I don't know if anybody else is hearing that, but I may need to go in here and adjust a few things. I don't want to turn that off. I do want to turn that off. I might just have way too much stuff on right now in my that's my guitar. I don't want to turn that off. I want to turn that off and turn that off. Maybe that'll help. I might have been trying to process a bit too much stuff. Yeah, that might have done it. I was using a lot of CPU. Your Uncle Andrew, yeah. You know, by the time, it's funny that you'd say that you have your sound turned way down. Yeah. Turned way low, yeah. No, I was just hearing a little click, and it almost sounded like a buffer underrun on my computer, but I've got a lot of stuff a lot of stuff open on my computer right now on this project. In fact, I've got a lot of tracks in here I could probably delete. Yeah, a ton of effects and stuff on here. That's all right. It seems like just turning off a few of those. You're not a musician. Okay. Oh, well, thank you, Lord Spike. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I try to teach in both aspects of playing guitar and fixing them, or basses. I'm really hopeful that that Brad will let me know what was found on his. If you missed it, Brad was talking about having some unruly buzzes and stuff going on in his jazz bass. So everybody say a prayer, if that's what you do, for Brad's jazz bass, that he can get that fixed easily and doesn't have a bunch of trouble with it. Yeah. George Millette. Yeah, I think I've seen you. I think I've seen him on the Falcros show. Maybe. I'm not always there. I'm not always there to be able to see everything, but I'm sure that I've seen him. Yeah. Yeah, cool, dude. I don't know why. That's interesting. I can't figure out how to use. Well, start pushing buttons, brother. Push the buttons. Turn knobs until it sounds like shit, then turn them the other way. That's what I tell everybody with a new amp. Yeehaw! Oh, okay. Okay. 3 days early. Oh, okay. Yeah. God, there's so many things. Yeah, dude, send me a message or an email just to let me know. I mean, it's so. I wish I lived closer to a lot of you guys, because I know that there's a lot. I hear it all the time. People, I wish I could just drive over to your shop, and I'm like, man, I wish you could too. But I'd be so freaking busy, I would never get anything done. So the people I live close to are lucky, I suppose. And I had another one show up today. That's the guy left it with me, and he knows that I'm not going to be able to work on it for a short while, if you consider how long I'll be gone, a short while. But he was fine. He's like, just leave it here. It's fine. I can't play it anyway. So, yeah. Come on. I've never heard of them before, Russ. Yeah, I've heard about ferrite, but I've never used them on a guitar. And I mean, Russ would know, I would think, if he was an electrician. I've never used one, and that might be something I should look into. Typically, I got to be honest, in most Telecasters, damn things are noisy. I'm sorry, if you own a Tele with a single coil in it, those things are stinking noisy, and it bugs me to death. You notice I don't own one, right? I got every other guitar in the world except for a Tele, for that reason alone. And even my Strat has humbuckers in it, right? But I can make them single coils, and if I do, it immediately, there's the hum from the single coils, and if I push this button, silence, pull the button, hum. Yeah. So single coils, just they will make noise, and you got to keep in mind that And the intonation. Oh, dude. Yeah. Hugh, that. I hate hearing that, but Gibson, I mean, that's a bummer. And it's a semi-hollow. This is one that'll be for sale at the shop, because I've had to obviously split if it's got the Tune-o-matic bridge, you flip the saddle around. Mine, I don't think I've had to do that on any of mine, but mine were all built before. They're all 12 years old or older, so they were built before Gibson's got such a big head with the advent of the internet and thinking they can just do stuff randomly and everybody will love it. Remember 2015 when they put robo tuners on all of the Les Pauls? Oh, God. Talk about cringeworthy. Oh, that was tragic. Yeah, well, what do you do? Are the cores, do they clamp on do they clamp onto the guitar cable, or do they go on the interior of the, I wouldn't even know how they, it's a brand new one. Yeah, God, Hugh. Yeah, I don't know how the ferrite cores work or how big they are, and I don't know if you put one in a guitar, how you would even install it, if it like clamps onto the guitar cable, or I've heard of them, but I've heard the word used, but I don't think I've ever actually looked into one. Yeah, they clamp on the guitar cable. Okay, yeah, so it's like shoot, I've got let's see, is this my camera? Yeah, that's the camera I'm using. I've got a ferrite core on both of my cameras. In fact, I should be able to unplug this one. So it's this that little thing, I think, is what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, and I think that you can, yeah, and they do clamp. They are on like power supplies for a lot of different devices. Some of them have them right near the input. So yeah, I can see how that would be might be really a handy little noise quieting device. Doesn't seem like it would be terribly intrusive. Yeah. Yeah, that's all that is, a little ferrite core. And but also, goddamn, well, if you've been using that bass for a long time and this noise just started happening out of the blue, which sounds like that's what's happened to you, Brad, it's probably something in the bass has obviously changed. And all of the stuff that we've talked about in the ground at the bridge and all that stuff, that could be it. Sometimes all you got to do is pull the bridge off, which you could do yourself. If you can run a Phillips head screwdriver, you can pull the bridge off your guitar. That's definitely not something a tech needs to do. Yeah. Okay. But you could just pull that up, and although you can check it without having to pull the bridge. It's like, but I don't know, Brad, I don't know how much work you've done, if any, on electric instruments and things like that. And if you haven't done it before and aren't really sure, definitely take it to a good tech. I'd hate to see it. I'd hate to tell you to do something and then hear from you, thanks, man, now my bass doesn't even work. Like, whoa. I do not want that to happen. So I'm gonna yeah. And here's another thing: if you feel like it's one of the pots, which it very well could be, just take the pot and sit there and roll it. Like, I just sit there while you're watching television or thinking about your girlfriend or whatever, and do this with it, right? But if you just roll the pot, you can solve it. Sometimes there's a little bit of gluck in there, and especially when you have it turned all the way up. And I'll be honest, I literally just did that with this guitar because I actually sprayed pot cleaner on it, and I wired this guitar myself. 10, 11, 12. I wired this guitar up with these pickups. Oh, it's 12 or 13 years ago. And I am live with a lot of gain, and I have this set to humbuckers, and my volume pot is silent, man. There's zero clicks, zero noise, nothing. And my tone pots also. So if you just roll it several hundred times back and forth, all the way up, all the way down, you can clean them just like that. You might be shocked at what that'll do for you, bro. And I know you've probably heard that before, but you know, it's just a reminder, I suppose. Okay. Yeah. The G&L Comanche. I don't see any G&Ls over there. I don't have. Are you talking about this one on this stand right here? Volume pot is silent too. It turns, but turning it makes no difference in volume. Oh, well. The staggered. Oh, no. That's the guitar that Jimmy Page used on Stairway to Heaven. That is a Fender Electric 12. Man, I really need to. Hey, Preston, take it easy. We'll probably see you in a bit. My knees hurt. Well, thanks for stopping in. My knees hurt. You need to bring your guitar into me. I'll fix it for you. Trimmer, that's a great question. This is a Super Distortion, a DiMarzio Super Distortion. This is the DiMarzio Chopper, and this is a DiMarzio PAF Pro. And they're the rails. Yeah. Well, and Brad, I got to be honest with you, brother. You know, I don't know where you're at, like money-wise, but in a studio, dude, active pickups and a bass is... I know jazz basses and non-active pickups get used all the time, but with music being as clean and tidy and digital black as it is, active pickups, they are definitely a very good choice. Yeah, my knees hurt. Thank you for stopping in, man. Have a great time at work. But yeah, these things are awesome. And, you know, I think I showed you earlier, but this is a coil tap. Pulls up and it's tapped. You push it down, it's humbuckers. So it's Strat Central. Sounds like a Stratocaster I call it the number 2 position. Let me make this guitar tone really clean. I gotta change my amp real quick. You should be able to do this. So I just go into a really clean amp. Let me turn this up a little bit. I think I can. There we go. I want some presence. I want some bass. And I want to bring the volume of this
amp up a little bit. So better tune this thing also. Let me show you my, we'll just give you my desktop. That way you don't have to look at my mug the whole time we're enjoying this. There it was. These strings are exceptionally old. So yeah, with the single coil, you know, this is the bridge pickup, right? Pretty terrible tone, which typical of a Strat. This is a single center position. And I love this chopper. This pickup, this chopper is fantastic. And I gotta be honest, if I was to do it over again, I would swap out, I would put the chopper there because I think it would give it a lot more. It's just got a really sweet. Anybody hear that little click in my guitar sound? Did you guys hear that while I was just playing just a moment ago? I know there's about 7 seconds of latency here, but did anybody hear that? I'm just curious. If I'm the only one hearing that, then I'm okay with it, but I don't want that to sound like that on my... Yeah, there it went again. And then the neck pickup. And that's set to single coil tones. Yeah, I'm getting clicking going on in my headphones. I'm not sure why. And the number 2. Clicking going on, really bugging me. I really don't have any processing going on, so let's bypass. Yeah, but then, you know, I can go to my bridge pickup, and when I go to humbucker, on this guitar, you know, and when I go to high gain stuff, really it's not like a typical Strat, but it feels like a typical Strat, plays like one, so I appreciate that, Trimmer, thank you. Yeah. My knees hurt. Have a great evening. Yeah, and you know, Brad, I don't know if you're still here. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to my bass that I remembered. I think I tuned it up to F. Headphones. I did it. Headphones. I did it. All right, give me a second here. I'm going to grab my bass. We'll plug it into my bass channel. Just kind of give you an idea.
I still haven't cleaned this thing since the fire, since my house got burned down. So, yeah. I am using OBS, which technically I don't even have to, but I am because it gives me the option of being able to. It gives me the option of switching, from one scene to another. And actually this one, I need to, let me deactivate that and activate it again. And now, oh, there I am. Look at that. So I can change camera angles and such. So yeah, I am using OBS, but I absolutely do not have to. So I'm gonna bypass this guitar, and I'm gonna open up my bass track, and we'll arm that, and we'll bypass that. So this is my bass tone. Yeah, can you hear those little clicks, you guys? I don't know if anybody's paying enough attention to hear that stuff, but I'm hearing, yeah, there's like buffer underrun, but I'm not gonna, I'm hearing, or a sample. I'm hearing just little teeny, Can you hear that? I don't know if anybody else can hear that. I can certainly hear it. Yeah, there's clicks going on in here. I do not know why. What I am gonna do here though, I'm gonna delete a few of these tracks. Let's delete those. Give me a second here, guys. I need to take care of this issue that I'm having. We're gonna go down here and get rid of these. I'm getting rid of a bunch of tracks on here that I really don't need. I don't need all that. And I don't need these. I'm gonna remove those. So now I don't have all of that, those unnecessary effects. You can hear it, Lord. Okay. Thank you, somebody, for telling me. If you ever hear something like that on one of my live streams, please do not hesitate to type in the comments. And I would ask that you do it for other YouTube creators, not to be intrusive, just so that they're aware that it's happening. Okay. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I'm hoping that I maybe have gotten enough of that processing out of the way. And it's still glitching a little bit. I think you guys can probably hear that. Which I don't know why. I just don't know why that's doing that. That's strange. I've been using this same, so that I must be having something going on. I'm gonna go. That yeah, it just got worse. So it's like a buffer underrun, which is really weird. That should not be happening. Hey, Dwight. And Brad, this bass tone is definitely not clean. And it's actually not supposed to be. It's very overdriven. It's something, a tone that I was using on a song, but oversampling. Oh, well, that's probably why that was a big reason. So we'll go to a more clean, a clean guitar tone or bass sound. That's distorted, clear, as big as it gets. Yeah, there's still, something's going on with my computer today. There's something going on, and that's bugging me. And you guys, I'm really sorry that that's happening, that you have to listen to that. And this sort of stuff, it'll only happen when I go live. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there's clickety click going on, and it, of course, it would only happen when I go live. And pure, Brad, yes, these are. It takes a 9-volt, and I just literally Sunday I broke the battery. The battery was dead in this, and I had to change the battery. And when I went to pull it apart, of course, I used the cheapest, shittiest battery adapters on guitars, in particular basses, regardless of who they're made by. They use those little, they're made out of cardboard, basically. So you get to plug a battery into them, unplug a battery from them like twice, and then they're done. So I put a good hard plastic battery adapter on this thing, and that won't happen again, right? And that's something, if you own a bass with active pickups, I do recommend that you put a new adapter in there. I can't remember. Huh, that's interesting. Now it does not want to close. Very interesting. Because see, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong for me, because that's just what the cards that God, if you believe in God, those are the cards that he gave me, is if it can go wrong, it will. Let's turn the grunt off. We'll turn the drive down. Try and get a good bass tone for you. We don't want. Yes, active pickups. They are whatever came in this bass from Ibanez. It's a Sound Gear. It is not expensive by any stretch. I think I paid, I might have paid $400 for this when I bought it new. But this is kind of cool. The guy that picked this out for me, he was the bass player for Michael Jackson's live band back in the day. He and Jennifer Batten played together in that band, and he and I worked at the same guitar shop during that time. Yes, he did have to work at a guitar shop after touring with Michael Jackson's live band for years. And I was like, dude, I need a bass for my studio. And he went over, and I heard him over there banging on basses, and he walked up to me and said, buy this one. So I didn't argue with him. He said, how much can you spend? And I told him, and he handed this one to me and said, buy it. And that does not have the controls on this are not anything like a jazz bass, but I've got a blend control here. So bridge pickup, neck pickup, and then bass, middle, and treble controls, and then a master volume. And with the volume cranked, and there's no noise gate on this. In fact, I'll make sure of that. Yeah, there's no noise gate at all. So it's definitely definitely quiet. So for getting a good yeah, I don't even think I've got no compression. Nothing special on this at all. And in fact, I could probably give the it does all right. I don't have it EQ'd really at all. I just left everything pretty much. I just added some top end to it, and I've got all my my knobs on the bass. Just everything is pretty much cranked, and we're gonna go dead center. So both of these pickups. Sounds like the battery on this is actually going dead, to be honest. I don't think there should be that much drive on it. I know I do have a brand new battery. If you have a guitar that takes 9-volt batteries and you don't have new batteries laying around, that might be a little bit wimpy. That should hurt. That should hurt. If it doesn't hurt, the battery doesn't have enough charge in it. You're gonna stay? You're just gonna stay. Woo! Oh, that one's hot. Oh, that one's hot too. Damn. Whew. I promise this battery has 9.2 volts in it, baby. The reason, Brad, I'll be honest, man, the reason I got this bass was because of the recording that I was doing, and the fact that I had gotten really busy in my recording studio, and I specifically asked him, hi Virginia, yes, it's an Ibanez Sound Gear. I specifically asked him, I want to use it in the studio, and his immediate, you need active pickups. So You know what I'm gonna do right now? All right, so I've changed my microphone. I'm gonna shut Reaper down right now. I can still talk to you, and you should be able to hear me pretty clearly. But my voice probably changed. I'm gonna shut Reaper down. Um, yeah. Um, and see if I can get this audio to clean up. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to shut Reaper down just because that clicking was really getting. I don't like anybody having to listen to that. I'm a professional studio cat. If that was happening while I was recording, and I look at everything in that aspect, where if you're recording and you have noise like that going on, man, get it fixed or stop. Uh, yeah. Yeah, this bass. I haven't done anything other than just basic setup work on it. The string action isn't like particularly low because I'm doing a lot of heavy rock on this instrument, and so I don't want it low because I end up with a ton of what you end up with is a ton of fret buzz. I'm gonna try and open Reaper again and see if I can. Let's see, where are you? There you are. Let's see if I can make Reaper work now. Give it a second. It's opening up a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I've loved this bass. I bought this bass 2000. I believe I bought this bass in 2010 uh, from Guitar Center where I worked. So now I've got my other system up and running again, and we'll see if I got any clicking going on. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why this is clicking. I probably just need to restart my computer, which I can't do right now. Yeah, but Brad, I mean, yeah, full on volume, and it's silent, dude. Just no hum, no buzz. It's the active pickups. So if you're looking for, I mean, I hate to tell you this, and I know jazz bassists, they're definitely, I get it. I get Telecasters too. I understand that guys love them, they want to play with them, but they are noisy and it's inherent. Now, you may have something extracurricular going on, and it sounds like you do, because you wouldn't have tolerated that for all the time that you've had that instrument. You would have recognized. And if you're using different equipment, it could be something with that. Always check the cable. Always change the cable out. I mean, I know this is dumb, guitar player 101 stuff, but sometimes even I forget that shit, dude. I just discovered a bad guitar cable I had the other day. Immediately, I cut the end of it off. So that way I won't have to, I'll fix it before before I make a mistake grabbing it again. Yeah. That clipping is in Reaper that you're hearing. That's the output on that amp. It's just way too hot. And yeah, dude, I got you. Yeah. I had an issue. Custom neck. Oh, geez. Oh. had an issue. You had a custom neck built for it, and since then it's been giving you trouble. Man, dude, I wish it wasn't so expensive or dangerous to ship stuff, because I had a guy ship me a neck from a J base that sat in a house in Seattle, Washington, that was on the coast, literally on the ocean, and it was a home that nobody lived in for years. Dude, it had mold all over it. The fingerboard was pulling off. I understand, Brad. I totally get that. Yeah, and this is my baby bass. It's the only one I own. I got it in 2011, and I'm not a real fluid bass player, but boy, this one does the trick. It sounds great on my recordings, especially when there's not noise going on like there is now. Yeah. Yeah, and Brad, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I bought this one specifically for studio work. In fact, this has been on stage live in just a very few instances where our bass player broke his bass or didn't have one, and he used it for a live gig. But this one's pretty much been hanging in my studio all the time. Oh yeah, Paduke. Yeah. And Brad, it may be something as simple as like what Preston immediately went to, is the bridge ground may have come undone. Now, if they were doing work on the neck, there is a possibility that they did have to pull the bridge off of the guitar for some reason. I could give you a reason, but I've had to do it, believe me, to get it out of the way of something I had to do, right? But if they did remove the bridge off of that and didn't get that ground contact solid, that could be the whole reason. But if that's the case, what would happen is you could put your hand on the strings and it would kill the buzz. If you take your hand off the strings, it'll buzz. That's the only thing that will do. So if it's not doing that, the ground problem is someplace else. I can almost guarantee you that. I'm not going to say 100%, but I will tell you that that's likely it's probably not the bridge ground. But yeah, these, you could buy an Ibanez sound gear bass like this one, God, dude, for $300. Peavey makes some really nice, and they sound great. And they're not a Fender J bass. They don't look like that. They don't have the same beautiful Fender appearance. Usually they look something like this, kind of an offset where you're looking, I don't know, this looks like it should have been used in a Duran Duran video. Yeah. And, I don't know if have you started, my other question would be, have you started using any other software or hardware outside of the bass? Because the amp I'm using right now, I will show you. I'm using the Dark Glass. So this is ultimately my amp. And this is the speaker cabinet that I have going. All in one, it's Neural DSP. And, if you want to get distorted, you can. Right? That's the B7. Here's the VDU, which is this is Vintage Ultra, which you can imagine what amplifier they're mimicking. if you want to get pissed off, there's the noise. That's loud. I got that thing. It's not clipping. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll bring that back to 12 o'clock. Yeah. So this amp has a lot of really, this amp sim is pretty versatile. Yeah, and it is clipping the output. Why is that so hot? I'm just bringing these ins and outs down a little bit. It seems like it's a... And I'm playing with my fingers, or I'm playing with a pick. Bring that to 0. Should be able to... There we go. Let's output up to 0. Yeah, dude, Yamaha makes PV Patriot bass. Okay. And then the Yamaha BB 435. I love Yamaha basses. There's a reason Billy Sheehan uses those. Okay, yeah. Brad, anything can be fixed, especially stuff like that. Don't get yourself worked up. I recently had a guy have a gig. He had to play a wedding, and 2 days before the wedding, he broke the headstock off of a Guild acoustic guitar. I had to calm him down, man. It's like, all right, don't start drinking. Don't go getting doped up. Just calm down. It's gonna be okay. Oh yeah. Yep, you just said it all. You know, an instrument can sound terrible, but the way it feels, there's nothing else that can make up for that. So I am 100% with you on that note, Brad. It has to feel right in order for it to be legit to use. That's vital. And if it don't feel right, you know, it ain't the right one. I personally, I don't have a whole lot of choice. Forgive my noise here. My favorite noises in the world. I don't have a lot of choice because I have one bass, right? So, of course, I love this one. So that one is, it's one of my favorites. Favorite instruments. Get this old dog out. I haven't played this one for a while. I say that, but I probably did play it last week. I just don't remember. Yeah, it'll be fine. That's not what I wanted going on there. There we go. This should be more like it. I don't know what this. I can't remember what this backing track is. I'll just jam for a little bit. God, a ripper. Oh my God. Sounded all right. Sounded all right. I'm kind of rolling through a few of these just to see a little practice time. Let's see. I hope you guys don't mind me playing just a little bit this time. I have about just a few more minutes left, and then I'm going to have to get busy. How's this? Oh, let's see. Gibson Ripper bass. Oh, yeah, those things are hard to come by. There's a girl that lives not far from where I live that has a Ripper that I've worked on a couple of times for her. Done some electronic repair on it and did a fret level on it. In fact, her dad played it for, God, decades. Played bass. Yeah, those are rather expensive instruments. God, even this one, and this one, it didn't have this until Dope Addicts burned down my house. And I will say that every time. If you do dope, you're a fucking idiot. And you'll do shit like this to people's prized possessions and really piss people off and destroy stuff that they've spent decades protecting. So if you do dope, fuck you. Get the fuck off my channel. I don't want nothing to do with you. And go get help. But this thing is worth, Jesus, I don't even know. I could have asked a whole lot more until this crack happened. Probably could have got $1,000 for this guitar or more. It's an RG 570. And I do have the original knob still. It didn't get lost in the fire. String through the body is preferable. String through body guitars and basses. I do not own one single guitar that is a string through body. I've definitely worked on a lot of them, and I've built a couple of them that had the ferrules for the strings to go through the body of the guitar. That's a really great question. I think that question would be better asked to somebody who owns both. And if you own both, I would assume that you have ones that have string through and ones that are, fed through the bridge, or, this has got a Floyd Rose on it, but like a Les Paul style guitar or whatever. I can't honestly answer that question, given like personal experience. I don't mind working on string through guitars. They definitely, you're committed at that point. You've got a hole going all the way through your guitar, although you can change the bridges out if you need to. But it might be something that Brad did. I don't worry too much about that here. I live in a pretty the people who own this and who manage this building, those types of people are not welcome here. I can actually hear the pick hitting the E louder than the note itself. So the connection was solid. Okay, put new strings on that. It just still sounds weird. Well, boy, what I'll tell you, Axiom, what I would do if I did, because I would have had to have tested stuff too. You don't know if something's fixed until you try something. And that's very common, where I have to put a lot of time into working on an instrument to come up with a resolve for the problem. And it could be simply that the pickup, the little stranded pickup is, I realize that it might all be looking fine. But those are easily replaceable. The hardest part is feeding it up through the bottom, but almost all of them have a little like a mono like headphone jack that plugs into the preamp in the guitar, or the output jack. They're not that hard to replace, and they're really inexpensive to buy a new one. You can hear the pick hitting the E louder than the note itself. Boy. Yeah, I mean, my mind's just going a million miles an hour trying to think of other things it could be versus having to like replace the pickup piece itself. But I got to be honest, if it was in my shop and I was having that same experience, because I always have extra pieces of those. I always have extra ones at my shop, always. And if anybody tells you that one's different from others, I would beg to differ in that opinion. It's like some people say if you put a shim in the neck of a guitar that you're going to screw up the way it sounds. That's complete utter bull. That's my take. And how many necks have I shimmed? So it might. I took it to Guitar Center and they shrugged. Oh my God. I hate hearing that, dude. Yeah, hang on. Axiom. Let me put this guitar down. I'm gonna hit that channel real quick. We don't want to listen to that. Just a second. Okay. So, shim the pickup saddle. Okay, well, that's fine. The shim shouldn't affect it, but it could be part of the problem. But give me just a second here. I'm gonna give me a moment. I'm gonna go to the Jungle website real quick, and I'll tell you. Just because I know almost everybody can buy something. Let's see. I was kind of shocked that you said you couldn't find them, because I've ordered them many, many times. I don't order the ones that I use from Amazon typically. Here's one. Let me copy that link. I'm going to paste a link into the chat for you, Axiom. You can take a look at this. And, let's see. Well, really? Oh, I'm going to delete 14 characters off of this. There you go. Let's see. Yeah. Pick up a line. Click on that link and see if the string in the low. So the Gibson 90 is the only one that will work. I'm not familiar with the Gibson 90. I don't know if that's a okay, so it is a piezo pickup. This one has the that link that I just sent. Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, you might be shocked if if I told you how many of those I've had to replace in my career as a guitar tech. It would boggle your mind, because if a lot of times the saddle will fall out when people are doing string changes, and in a lot of cases that isn't really it'll, like if they tip the guitar upside down to clean the back of the guitar or something, the saddle falls out and then that little thing will fall out. And folks don't realize how fragile that little piece of hardware is. And they'll bend it and something breaks. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they're not terribly expensive. And I'll tell you what, dude, if you have a guitar, even if the one in your guitar isn't broken, having an extra one of those in your guitar parts drawer, I can't really recommend that enough. My acoustics, I have a guitar shop and I have extra ones. So that's my reason for saying that. I can always just grab one. And I know you can totally understand that, but that's a great extra part. Yeah. If that jack will plug into the input on your preamp on the back of your guitar, that would be definitely a worthy try. Oh, hey, Kevin. Hello. What a saddle. I'll bet. Is it a big old wide one and it's got some strange like curves on the top? I'd have to look at one, but yeah, I'm very curious now. Gibson did do some really weird stuff with the whole mustache saddles on and bridges on some of those guitars. It was, I mean, if you're into Elvis, I suppose they were sexy in that time. Everybody say hi to my buddy Kevin. He is another Neural DSP / Reaper / SM58 / Les Paul owning, Strat owning motherfucker. Yep. Oh, okay. PR5. Let me copy that. I'll do a search. Let's see. Can I copy that? There we go. I'm going to see if I can find a photo of that real quick. Kevin's just a super cool dude, you guys. He's taken some lessons with me and you've been playing the hell out of his guitar. And I got him hooked up when he's working out of town to be able to take his guitar with him and sit in his hotel room. And he gets invited to the lobby to play guitar for the people hanging at the hotels. So I've taught him well. He knew he was a good guitar player when he came to me. Yeah. Brad, you're very welcome, dude. I've been doing this a long time. There is nothing that can't be fixed. I don't care if you broke a fucking truss rod. You can fix that too. So, yeah, usually electronic issues they can be a little challenging to decipher or discover what exactly is happening, what's wrong, but you shouldn't have any problem. If you take it to a good tech, they'll plug it in. And what I recommend you do is when you take it to the tech, plug it into an amplifier and show the tech exactly what it's doing. I love it when guys do that for me. And if a lot of times techs and big guitar shops, they won't have time. My time's way too valuable. I got 18,000 guitars to work on, blah, 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 bullshit. Take a salesman over there and show him what your bass is doing and let him talk to the tech, whatever the case might be. Just show them what it's doing. I love it when people do that because a lot of times, I can solve a problem in a matter of seconds. I got fret buzz all over my guitar while the guy's sitting there banging on his acoustic guitar like it's a fucking baseball. Yeah, okay, your technique is the problem, sir. You know. Let's see. Oh, we'll get you there, Kev. I'm gonna be busy for the next week. Yeah, Brad, don't sweat that. Whatever, you'll be fine. Yeah. WD is not a bad idea. I usually and almost always stand the guitar so that the neck's up, and I use 3-in-1 oil. What you have to keep in mind is that if you shoot WD-40 down in there, that oil and other stuff is going to be getting on the wood inside the neck. And I don't know if some of the chemicals that are in WD-40 are healthy for a piece of wood versus 3-in-1 sewing machine oil. You can finish a piece of wood with it. It's not the greatest idea in the world, but it's not gonna fuck the wood up. So that's my thought process on using WD-40. And I never use WD-40 on my bench, never. I have a can of it here if I need to lube like a hinge on a door or something, yeah. But I never use WD-40 on a guitar. And I think that's more psychological. Yeah. Yeah, show them what's wrong. Yeah, yeah. I don't like putting WD-40 in a guitar neck. I use just straight oil. You could even use I don't like using stuff like penetrating oils on stuff like truss rods. I use 3-in-1. Because again, you could finish a piece of wood with 3-in-1 oil, and it'll look nice, and it's not going to damage the wood. Whereas I don't know if you shot WD-40 all over a piece of wood, it might discolor it or something, and I don't want that showing up in the guy's guitar neck two years later or whatever. I hope that makes sense. I have to be very careful, man. If I do one. If I do one thing wrong, I could be in a whole lot of, it wouldn't be good for my business. I live in a very, very small community. I have to be, to say I'm perfect is not far from the truth. But I'm afforded the time to be able to be perfect. And I don't have 80,000 guys coming to me every single day wanting me to fix their instruments. I've got a good solid base of people, so I'm afforded that time. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the smell of WD-40. It's funny you'd say that, Virginia, because I actually kind of like it, but it definitely does have a strong smell. And so does actually 3-in-1 oil definitely has a pretty strong smell too. But to my knowledge, it doesn't have any no additional stuff in it. It's just pretty much really thin oil. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. We need to get you live streaming. Kevin, we'll get there, brother. I like the smell, but so you have to use WD-40 quite often. It must be. That's cool. Yeah. I don't use WD-40. I do hit my hinges on my front door over here once in a while. They'll start squeaking. But now the summer months, the building has, I think, shrunk a little bit, dried out, so I don't have that creak in the hinges. It'll happen again here in October, November. It'll start up again. Yeah. Looking around here, trying to see where'd my cat go. Fred, where'd you go? Found a good hiding spot. All right. Well, you guys, I think it's time for me to get going. I have a lot. I have more preparation. Yeah, they asked if you brought your guitar. Yeah. Well, that's cool, Kev. That's a better buzz. Lord Spica. You guys are on a roll. You guys, I'm gonna have to get going. I know, Kev, you just got here, but I gotta get going. I got a bit of work to do. I'm gonna go. Oh, there's Fred. Y'all, there he is, the man of the hour. He's looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? All right. You guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a really wonderful Wednesday night. I have some stuff I got to get done. Brad, hang in there, brother. Keep me posted on that bass repair. Everybody else, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I've shared some information with some of you that may help you solve some problems with your instruments. I'm happy to do that. And Axiom, keep me posted on your guitar. Next time I see you, if we end up in the same chat, I'll try and remember that we had this conversation. Virginia, thank you for your input today and your wonderful questions. I love that. Yeah. Right on. All right, you guys. Peace. We'll see you soon. I'm going to see you from a few miles to the east the next time I see you, I'm guessing. Just a few miles to the east. See that smile on my face? I'm excited. Yes.